Well, I've got the top of the range FX here, yeah, the FX Crown. I've got it in 177 and 22. What a gorgeous, gorgeous looking rifle, if you can afford it. Review coming straight up, so keep watching. Right there YouTubers, it's Gatanoni here, Steve, and welcome to another video on Airgunology. On this channel, as you know by now, we do a whole load of air rifle and air pistol reviews as well as technology. So if you stumbled on something by accident, just hit that subscribe button down there. Don't forget to leave us some comments and check out our Facebook group. I'll leave the link down in the video description. But as the intro said, yes, I am such a lucky boy at times. I never dreamed that this sort of would happen right at the beginning when I started this channel, where I thought I'd ask people if I could borrow their rifles, lend my cricket out, and yes, I get some Springers, not so, yeah, really nice rifles off some of my subscribers, but never did I think that somebody would somebody would lend me £1,900 worth of UK, yes, that's £1,900 worth, and that's not including the extra barrels or magazines worth of rifle. And this is exactly what's happened. So a massive thank you out there to Eric, who I've made some great friends, and Eric, you're one of them, so thank you. But yeah, I've got the FX Crown. Now, I am of course going to let you know what I think of the FX Crown, and I'll go through it all and give you some specifications on it in case you're thinking of one of these. But yeah, we've already mentioned the big elephant in the room. Yeah, the big elephant in the room is this rifle will cost you from FX, if you get it imported to the UK, and it obviously depends where you get it from, but basically you're looking at £1,600 to £1,900. Yeah, that's a lot of money. We are hitting the top of the air rifle. I think air rifles you can go out and buy there. Yeah, we're hitting the proper top levels here. And that's a lot. And now you can get this in quite a few different calibers. You can get it in 177, you can get it in 22, 25 and 30. You can actually get it in different stocks. You can get it in a wooden stock. I believe you can get it in a tactical stock, you can get it in laminate stocks, and I've seen lots of pretty colours, blues and reds, or you can get it in, actually I think this is probably the best looking one out of it all, and this is the Black Pepper stock. Absolutely gorgeous looking rifle, absolutely beautiful, yeah. So what else is there about this? Well, let's just go straight into the nuts and bolts of it. Obviously it's a PCP rifle. It is magazine filled, and it runs off a buddy bottle on the front. So some of you might not like that. Quite a lot of you, I know some of you don't like having buddy bottles there at the back, etc. But that's the system it runs at, and I do actually think it carries it off quite well, especially in the Pepper Black with the carbon fibre buddy bottle on there. Its weight-wise is 3 to 3.5 kilograms, depending on the version of the rifle that you get, the stock, etc. The length is 970 millimeters in length. However, that does extend out to 1030, because this is a new silencer system by FX where you can pull it in, pull it out, and basically you just increase in the length of the shield on there. And the barrel in here is the Smooth Twist X barrel, which is 500 millimeters in length, and the barrels on this rifle are interswappable. Yep, you heard it, you can swap the barrels out on here, put different calibers in here, and potentially you can have different guns. All you're doing is just swapping the barrels out on them. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful, and Eric's got this fitted out with a nice Discovery scope on here. I might start doing some scope reviews. I am starting to really like these Discovery scopes. First focal plane ones, really nice. So let's do our usual and walk around the rifle, explain how it all fits together, and yeah, really nice. So straight off, well, I'm just going to go straight into the stock and the looks of it. Like I said, this is the Black Pepper laminated stock, and it is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. I just love the look on this, and I like FX where they're doing these black peppers recently. They're absolutely really nice on there. The stock's got some nice stippling in here, some grip. It's really sort of grippy and rough here, really nice, and underneath up the top here where we can grab on. Really nice. Nice little cutouts for your finger across where the trigger is there. But let's start our usual, work away from the back. As standard, we've got our rubberized butt pad on the back. There's an Allen thread on here, Allen key, and you can lift this up and down. It doesn't tilt left or right. It's basically it's a 2D. Move it up and down. Of course, lots of people you'll see will replace these stocks and put them in and put other ones in there. Then we have the chin guard here, and again we can just make it as an Allen bolt in there. We can lift the chin bar guard up and down as well. Nice thumb hole, obviously helps a bit of weight, also helps carry it around as well, and it just feels really, really nice. Now you can go thumbs up on this if you want. There's nice grooves here for thumbs up, or you can go thumbs in as well. There's the nice groove down here. Absolutely sublime and brilliant. Now obviously this rifle is totally unloaded. Before all of you freaks out there start going, oh, what you doing? You know, totally unloaded. What I'm going to do is just show you the trigger on this. Absolutely beautiful trigger. Because of typical FX here, they have sublime triggers on there. And that is just absolute. I can feel that second stage. This is the classic FX trigger. Now I'm just going to put that somewhere safe and just fire it up. Our safety catch is on that one. And we'll just fire that off. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful trigger. I'm in love with the FX triggers. Now obviously this is fully adjustable 2-stage trigger. There's some adjustments that you can make directly through, but it looks like you will need to take the stock off, and I'm not going to do that to Eric's rifle, but you can change the blade angle. Absolutely everything. The one thing I will say about FX rifles is the triggers on everything I've had, from the Wildcat to the FX Verminator. I've had a play with the Impact as well, and now on the Crown. These triggers are probably the best triggers I've ever played with. We move around a little bit further. We've got a safety catch that's here. That is resettable. You can set that as many times as you want. Really nice. Makes a little bit of a click, but it's not too bad at all. It's not a certain real clicky that's going to scare your quarry away. Really nice. And then of course what we've got here is the classic cocking mechanism that FX are using on all of their rifles nowadays. Really, really nice. You've got the biathlon type handle here. Just pull it back. That's just so nice. Slide it in like so, and oh, I forgot the safety back on again, and just fire it off. Absolutely beautiful. And while we're doing that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire that off with the silencer as it is, and then we'll extend out the shroud on the silencer as well so you can hear that. So I'm not sure how this is going to work on the camera. Usually the levels are dimmed down a bit. So like so, and then we'll extend the silencer out, and we'll do the same again. I just love that cocking handle on there, and fire it up. Much quieter, much quieter on there. So really, really, as usual, as you would expect from FX, a beautiful, beautiful trigger action on there as well. We'll move along then, and we've got the carbon fibre body bottle, so they all come with carbon fibre on here. Nicely done, absolutely beautiful. Really sets the rifle out quite a lot actually. I just love, you know, it gives it that look. This would have looked stupid with a steel body. Totally stupid. What we got up the top then is we've got standard 11mm dovetails up the top here. You've got plenty of room up there to get your scope on. However, there is a however, and to do this, obviously we're nice and safe. There's nothing in these magazines. The magazines themselves are huge. They are humongous. Now the magazines in 177 is a 21 shot. Yes, 21 shot magazine. 2.2 is 18, I'm reading this off here. 2.5 is 16, and 30 caliber, believe it or not, is a 14 shot magazine. Yeah, they are huge, but because these magazines are so huge, when you slide them in, look how much space you've actually got. So you are going to need to have high mounts for your scope on here, but otherwise your magazine will not fit in there. So you do have to be careful, and that does limit you where you are with your scope. And of course, the higher your scope up, the higher up that you've got to get the rifle to get the eye relief, etc. So yeah, you do have to be careful with the magazines. They're a fair size. And we'll just fire that off as well, get rid of that action. Now, the magazines themselves are the standard FX magazines where you actually, and I'll leave a video running at the moment, but the way you do these magazines is you've got to turn it all the way around to get the spring activated, turn the magazine upside down, put the first pellet in skirt first, which I hate it, hate it, and then you can then start feeding the magazines the normal way around until you've filled up all 21 in there. And then the magazines, you can start to use them like so. The magazines themselves as well can cost you up to £40. I think 40 or £50 per extra magazine. It is a lot on there, so be aware of that. But anyway, so we've done the rail up here, we've got the loading mechanism. We touched on the barrel and the shroud already, but as you can tell, the shroud like so in its standard format is fairly loud. You can pull that out. And that gives you quite a degree of modifying on the shroud on here. Now this barrel itself is, like we said, is a 500mm barrel. It is the new FX Smooth Twist X barrel system. So this is the barrel system that is smooth with a little twist on the end that imparts that twist and gives it that super accuracy. And the barrel lining itself can actually be removed and replaced with different barrel linings for different pellets. So there's some amazing technology going on there. FX are really bringing this out and really pushing this forward. And if you take one of those linings out and have a look, the actual barrel groovings, the rifling is done from the outside of the barrel. Amazing how they do it all. I'll leave some pictures around of what it looks like when you take the shroud off this and have a look at the barrel lining itself. Now, like I said before, with the barrels, you can actually get separate barrels. So Eric kindly lent me the other barrel for this rifle. So this is the 177 barrel, and as you can see, it is literally just a straight fit. So the barrel is like so, nice and easy, and then what you get then is you get a pellet probe that goes with the barrel kit, and in this case it's 177 and it's labelled on the top here a 177. And it is just a matter of making sure your rifle is safe. You do have to take your scope off. You drop the first barrel out, and you drop the pellet probe out. You swap them all around. You know, with a bit of practice, you can have that done within 3 to 4 minutes quite easily. However, what you're looking at here for the barrel, you're looking, and the pellet probe that comes as a kit, you're probably looking at £300 to £400. That does depend on where you actually get them from, obviously. And then you're going to need to buy some magazines with that. And I'm not sure, I think the barrel kit might come with one magazine, but the chances are you're going to then want to buy some more magazines. So it can add up a little bit in there, but that is really, really nice to see with the barrel system across here. And the inbuilt shroud, silencer, modifier, whatever you want to call it on there. Actually, it's quite confusing at times, but yeah, really, really nice to see that. So that's pretty much done on that side of the rifle. So if we flip it around, this is where it starts to get extremely interesting, and very interesting for those guys that are on FAC. And what we've got here is two dials. We have a dial here that is for your power setting. Now this is marked, and it's split into 3 settings. One is low, one is 0.25 and 30 caliber, and the other one is 0.177 and 22. And basically, if you turn that around, what it will do is it will limit the amount of air, i.e. then the power used to an amount of air, and therefore the amount of push effect that the air has on the pellet, i.e. the muzzle velocity that you will impart onto your pellets, regardless of what the regulator's got on it. And then the other dial at the back here basically is a dial that actually sorts out your hammer tension, and basically that is how hard the hammer hits the back and release, and how much air is actually released from the regulator. So if you're FAC, you can set this rifle up for anything you want. So what you've now got, if you think about it, is you've got a rifle that will allow you to have up to 4 different barrels, 177, 22, 25, 30, and allow you to modify the power rating. And obviously you'll be adjusting the regulator as well if you're FAC, so you can set and tune this up exactly how you want it. Now obviously in the UK or other power restricted countries where you have special licensing terms like we do, sub 12 foot-pound, this becomes pretty much not so important, and actually can cause a few problems, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But again, the anodizing on the rifle itself is absolutely stunning. They've always done this FX. Everything, the quality control on there from a visual point of view is absolutely stunning. I really, really do like this a lot on there. But I think that is just, no, we've missed a bit, see, at the bottom. So at the bottom, we now have 2 dials at the bottom here. And we have our fill gauge, so it tells us how much we fill it up to. So what we've got is a 250 bar fill. What we got is a 480cc body bottle. And I've given up trying to count on how much this is. It's over 500 well, it's got to be very close. I'm not going to waste a tin of pellets just to give you a number on there. I can definitely tell you it's way over 300 because I shot this and I shot it all afternoon and I did not fill this up and it barely got down to 280 bar. But it's a 250 bar. You have got a mega shot count with this. Massive, you know, we're talking FX shot count because it is effectively using the same internals, especially when you're down at 12 foot-pounds. It's just ridiculous the amount of shots. You take a couple of tins, you'll be fine, absolutely fine with it. Well, we've got two gauges, as we said. We've got the fill gauge here, and then we have the regulator gauge on here. And obviously, sub 12 foot-pounds, you're not going to be playing around with that. And then we have the fill probe, which has got a nice little cap over it like so, and that is a straight Foster's. That obviously you're supplied with straight Foster's, quick fill into there, and a nice little cap to cap it all off. So that's the actual FX crown that we have here. So what I'm going to do now is we'll do our usual. We'll take it outside. We'll stick it down the range at 25 meters. We'll put 5 sets of pellets through it. And we'll see how we get on. And a word of warning, when I was doing this, it was a little bit windy, so it may have a slight effect in it, but that, unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about the British weather. But we'll come back inside and we see what we think of the FX Crown, and I'll give you my proper thoughts of it all. So first off, we're going to go with the exact JSB Jumbos. So 8 shots of these, let's see how we do. Okay, now onto the RWS Superfields. 8 shots again. Okay, next up the H&N Sniper Lights. Nice light pellet. See how this works. Now for the AA Diablo field. And finally, let's try the Sovereigns. Okay, so we're back inside, and yeah, that was a little bit challenging. British weather's not great, and it was a little bit windy out there. Unfortunately, I can't keep hold of this rifle for as long as I want and wait for summer to come back. It has to go back to Eric, my subscriber. So we struggled on, we did quite well actually. The JSBs, there was a couple up here, they weren't that great, and this wasn't wind affected. You know, there's hardly any wind there. The RWSs, I can't believe it, the RWSs, just look at that. Absolutely fantastic. RWS Superfields. I'm amazed. Again, just like the Verminator with the smooth twist barrels on them. Really good. So yeah, I'm happy to recommend them for a change, RWSs. The Sovereign started off really good. These were the last shots. They started off really well. They were going pellet within pellet, and then the wind picked up, unfortunately, there. But I do have other targets where the Sovereigns were very good. Down at the bottom here, the AA Diablos. I don't know what it is about those pellets. Maybe it's the price you're paying for them, but yeah, you're certainly getting quality there, and it does like them. And down here we've got the H&N Sniper Lights. Yeah, I think they may be just a bit too light, especially the wind conditions on there. But yeah, I've done some pellet testing. I've got other cards where I did it. That was out at 25 meters. I've done them out at 30 and 35 meters. Very similar results. So for once, I recommend with those guys, RWS Superfields. Yeah, at last, I found a rifle that actually likes them. The AA Diablos and the Sovereigns, yeah, they certainly worked out there. But your results may vary a little bit on there. But you know, basically, it's not that pellet fussy. Given them the right pellet, yeah, it will put pellet upon pellet holes, definitely with that. So accuracy, well, to be expected with FX, and certainly to be expected with the price, yeah, it's bang up there. It's right up there with all the other FXs and the top of the range rifles on there. And that's got to be down to this smooth twist X barrel system in here. And of course that is configurable as well. You can swap these barrels out. It's another good point. You can swap the barrels out on these. And then you can have a same rifle but in a 2.2 and a 177. Absolutely brilliant. You can get yourself a 3.0 if you have the FAC license, and you're allowed to do that in the country you are. So I am really happy with that. It's really nice. The magazine, it's a pro and a con with this one, with the magazine, especially if you 177. All the magazines are the same size, they're just higher shot counts. So on the plus side of 177, you've got 21 shots here, which is fantastic if you're out hunting. Absolutely brilliant. The chances are you cut the magazines, you're good for the night, unless you're really busy. Combine that with the high shot count in the body bottle, it's just a dream, absolutely dream. You take this thing out, you're not going to run out of gas with this, not at all, not at all. However, the magazine system has problems with. Number one, they're stupidly expensive, yeah, to get spares on here. Number two, the size of them. Absolute size of them means you've got to use high scope mounts on here. Yeah, that might cause a few problems. And of course the worst and absolute worst, please FX, stop doing this stupid system where you've got to put the first pellet in backwards and then potentially damage the skirt and then fill it up. I don't like it. Nobody else likes it, I don't think. Yeah, that's just my personal view. Yeah, I'm not super keen with them at all. What else is there? Well, the looks. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love it, especially in this pepper black. Yeah, it's gotta be one of the best looking rifles out there. It's not quite an FX Impact ugliness, you know, some people like it, some people hate it. It is a proper quality. It's got the body bottle system on the front of it, so that will put some off, but come on, you cannot tell me that does not look nice. And those that want the garish blues and the reds laminate, yeah, you can get them as well. Superb. The trigger is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. I just love this trigger. All the FX triggers, I'm just going to hold that and I can feel that second stage. It fills me with confidence, just feeling that second stage and then let it go. Really nice. I am super impressed with that, as usual. The adjustability is a definite plus side, but it can be a negative side. If you're FAC, then this adjustability, being able to lower down the power and fine tune it with the hammer tension, is really good if you're FAC. It allows you to match your barrels up and your pellets up to whatever speed that you want them to go at, obviously along with the regulator. If you are sub 12 foot-pound, then it does allow you to dial down the power. So if you're doing some shooting indoors, let's say over a 10-meter range, or you're ratting up against a barn and you don't want to punch through the rat and through the barn, then you can swap that down. But it does have its downsides, and I'll come on to that in a bit. And the other thing is, again, the looks. It looks nice, and it also just feels nice to shoot and hold. It's just, in fact, I'd be scared to take it out and get it dirty. I really would. But there are some down points, some definite down points. Quite simple. We've already talked about the magazines, how large they are and the way that you feed them. I won't go on about that too much, but definitely the price. Like I said, this model here is the top of the range, £1,900. That is a lot of money. I would be scared to take it out and damage it, I really would. But, you know, it comes down to £1,900 is good. A lot for some, not for others. It depends on how much you like your sport and how much you want to spend on it, I suppose. Right, but the biggest problem I found with this, and I am going to leave a link to a video up here, I can never remember which side it is, I think it's up here. I'm going to leave a separate video I did on this because of this applies to the crown only at this stage, I think. That's all I can confirm this on at the moment. But basically, there is a big problem when you swap the barrels out on here. Because of and this only applies to the 12 foot-pound people, those that don't have an FAC license in the UK. Because we're limited to 12 foot-pounds, basically if you get a 2.2 rifle and it's set 12 foot-pound, if you drop a 177 barrel on it, it won't be 12 foot-pound, it won't be near it, it'll be something like 9.8 or something, which sort of loses the benefit of a faster, flatter trajectory pellet because of it's now 2 foot-pound less. And it's all down to the dynamics of how an air rifle works how an air rifle works down to that dynamics and the power, the amount of air needed for 177, etc. And the reason is basically is these are set up by your RFD not to go over 12 foot-pounds. So all the dials are set up to maximum. They put the 2.2 barrel on, then make sure it doesn't go over that, and then you drop a 177 barrel on, which requires requires more air to actually get it to the same muzzle energy. And then basically, because it's been set up the way it is, then the power will drop down, which will leave a lot of you disappointed out there. So I've set a whole new video up for that. Like I said, watch that there. But you've got to be careful as well, because of if you've got a 177 one of these and then you drop a 2.2 barrel in it, you could be over the actual power limit of 12 foot-pound, which effectively could make you illegal. So I'm not saying that it's an FX problem. I'm just saying, be careful. Watch the video that I've put up there and be careful. I'm sure it will get addressed. Either they will stop that from happening, etc. So just be careful. It might be that you might not even be able to get separate barrels unless you've got an FAC license. I don't know. Just watch that space. Be aware of it. If you're FAC, it's not a problem. You can dial these, set this up all you want. You don't have the power limit problems. And obviously if you're in America, then obviously you don't have those problems at all. Also, with these dials on here, you're paying a lot of money for the adjustment, and if you're sub 12 foot-pounds, it is, to be honest, pretty much wasted on you. Why would you want to dial it down to 200 feet per second and 177 at 4 or 5 foot-pound? Why would you want to do that? Maybe for indoor ranging, maybe for close quarter ratting in a barn. But why would you? Yeah, at the end of the day, there's a lot of money that goes into this part of the rifle, which, and with sub 12 foot-pound, you are just not going to realise it. And it is a lot of waste of money on there. So be careful, be wary of that. Hopefully things will change. Hopefully FX will change things around. And what they'll have to do is just change how the porting is done on the transfer ports on the barrels. I think they've done it in the FX already, but it just hasn't come to the Crown yet. So again, be very, very careful on there. What else have we got? Yeah, I think I've pretty much covered it all really. That is the only really three bad things I'd say about the rifle. The magazine loading system, which I hate on FX. The fact of the adjustability is a bit wasted, and the barrel swapping system causes a lot of issues. You know, potentially like that, you might have troubles getting hold of the barrels for these. Maybe wasted on 12 foot-pound users, I don't know, but those are really the only really bad things about it. And of course, yes, the price as well. But overall, it is a stunning and accurate rifle. Certainly jealous of those that can actually get their hands on one of these. Certainly jealous. So, have you got a Crown? Are you thinking again about getting a Crown? Let me know down below. I'd love to hear your comments. Don't forget also to check out our Facebook group, where you can ask a whole load of questions on there, meet a whole load of like-minded people. As usual, if you feel that way inclined, there's Patreon up there that you can check out. Everything's down in the video description, and check out these other videos that I'm leaving lying around, and hopefully I'll get a lot more video reviews out for you very soon. Catch you next time. Cat Noni here.